Hi everyone, welcome to another pick a card video on my channel. It has been like a million years since I've done a pick a card video. I actually looked, it has not been a million years, it's been 14 months. The last one I did was on March 3rd, 2023, but needless to say, that's a pretty long time. Um, I took a really long hiatus from making these videos. Those of you that have been following my spirituality business since the beginning, you know that I went, or maybe you know what you forget, but I went hard with like marketing and promoting my business. And the reality is I burned out. I was doing pick a card videos at new and full moons. I was doing email newsletters alongside those twice a month. I was doing a blog post every week, cross-posting those blog posts on a spirituality app. So much stuff. Of course, doing paid ratings and various things on top of that. And the reality is that, YouTube is a very long-term gain to monetize videos. So I really was making, how do I put this nicely? It's really, really important to me this lifetime that I'm participating in balanced partnerships. And it was really, really becoming an out of balance partnership creating these YouTube videos. So I just needed to take a lot of space from it. I also blame my progress moon going into Aquarius, which has created a lot of detachment and rebellion in my life. Um, but at any rate, I'm sort of back. I'm back, question mark. And no, I'm probably not going to make the thumbnail that, but I have an idea to kind of reapproach this. I've had this idea for a little while. I've been observing other pick a card readers doing this, and it's something I'd like to try. So effectively what I'll be doing is I'm back in some sense, but I will be doing this in a little bit more of a baby step kind of method and a little bit more controlled. I'm not going to go back immediately to what I was doing before because I don't want to repeat the cycle of like burning out. But I would like to provide and give of my spiritual gifts. I've been getting a lot of nudges from the universe that this is the right time to kind of come back into this and to re-explore it. And yeah, I've also been accumulating many decks since I've seen you guys last. So I'm excited to share some of those. And what else do I want to say? I just really want to emphasize that I need you guys to help me feed the YouTube algorithm. So that means liking this video, commenting, especially comments are like one of the best ways to support, along with sending a donation, also hitting the notification bell so that, and I know like you guys hear this a lot, but it truly is an algorithm and it's like, it needs to be fed. So these things that might seem very like innocuous to you, they actually make a big, big deal to YouTube creators. And it's just really, really important to support small content creators. So with all that being said, the way that this is going to go is it's going to look and feel very much the same as my previous pick a card videos, except that I'm going to be trying a technique which is called like the extended. So there will be a version of the pile you pick that will be here and it'll be accessible to everyone. And then I'll also have an extended version of that, which will be at cost, which will kind of like a pay-per-view kind of deal. And you'll be able to access that via purchase from my Etsy shop right now. I may end up doing some cross-posting with my website. I'm not quite sure yet, but for now, I think I'm probably going to do it on Etsy. So if you go to Etsy right now, at the time this video is published, it should be there. I can't show it to you now because it's not created yet, but it will be in the description of this video and it'll be very clearly marked where you can go. Some content creators actually break it down and they do like a separate video for each pile. They also give you like really short-term access. I've experimented with this myself and paid for a few just to see how it felt. And some of them give you a really narrow window, like 24, 48 hours to access it. Personally, I don't care if you have access to the video for like a long time. I've created it. If it helps you, please like have it and refer back to it. It's probably going to be one video. So like spoiler alert, if you pay for the extended, you'll probably get access to all the piles in extended in like one go. So it should be a pretty good deal. And ideally, I'd also like to do this with Astro because, of course, I'm super passionate about astrology. But again, baby steps. So this is kind of like, it's so weird to be nervous about something that I did for so many years. But nevertheless, I do feel nervous because I'm coming back to something that I'm a little bit out of practice with in a public sphere, I should say. Of course, I've been continuing my spiritual practice, always doing readings for myself and I do have some clients that you know who you are. You've been supporting me behind the scenes consistently, even when I haven't been as public with my business. So it's not like things have gone away. My membership groups have been continuing to go on, things like that. But yeah, still a little bit nervous kind of getting back into this. So all of that, I think, is everything I need to share there. And where do I want to start? So essentially, I'm recording this for you on the day of a full moon in Scorpio, which is also has eclipse energy attached to it. And it's been a very good day for me. Honestly, though, it's been very, very up and down, which like eclipses can be like that. My day started with something extremely unexpected and positive, and then in like another hour to 2 hours time derailed into something like super weird and annoying and kind of toxic. And now I'm kind of on the other side of that. So it's just been quite a lot. And to be honest, that's very normal for like eclipse season. And especially with this new moon in Scorpio having so much aspects to Uranus, which is a planet of unpredictability and unexpected things, it's really not that surprising if you kind of view it in that regard. But nevertheless, I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a different approach to these videos. So usually I do them more forward focused on what the newer full moon is, and that's still going to be a part of it. But what I'm trying to think about doing is framing a question that's essentially evergreen around the concept of this newer full moon, but it's something that if you catch this video when it's not full moon in Scorpio, and I'm sorry if I said new, but it's definitely a full moon. If you catch this sometime later on, it's still applicable to you. And to be honest, it's always been that way because energy doesn't have time and space. It's not confined to time and space. So you can come across something that was recorded 3 years ago and it can be valid and true for you today. That's absolutely true. But I kind of wanted to add a little bit more to help that. So the focus question for this pick a card video is, what are you releasing? What are you releasing? And I know for me, this week in particular, I'm sure the build up to the full moon is part of it. And as I always like to remind people, and if you go back to my previous videos, I'm like a broken record with this, but I always like to remind people that when we have a new or full moon, it's not just the day of, it's also a cycle. It's a cycle that lasts for 2 weeks. And there is typically a build up like a few days before we get to that new or full moon. But then there's an integration process that occurs for like the next 2 weeks. And it's really not until we get to the next new slash full moon that we go into a new cycle, because everything with energy is cyclical. It's not like a one and done finite point. It's like a continuous line. And it's a really, really important to get across because I think people get kind of really excited or dramatic about the newer full moon on the day of, but they don't understand that they occur as cycles, right? As more of like a wave instead of a wave particle instead of like a finite point. And this is like a really, really important concept to understand with astrology. So with all that being said, I want to show you the decks that I'm using. I have been working with some unicorn energy lately, so I have Oracle of the Unicorns by Cordelia Francesca Brabs. I also pulled out Diana Cooper's Magic of the Unicorns because why not double unicorn up? I also have a new deck I just got, which is affectionately known as the blue deck. So Josie, if you're watching, I got the blue deck today and I'm really happy. It came in this really, really cool gold packaging. And I actually have a version of this deck in pink, which is called the pink deck. And these are actually the traditional tarot system. I keep it in this box with this black obsidian generator because it just works so well. But this is actually the traditional tarot deck, which to be honest, I resisted buying for so long. And still to this day, I don't have like the standard version of the Rider-Waite tarot deck. I just feel like it's not my thing. But I love when people adapt it, when they do fun things to it, when they reinvent it. I love all of that. So I have other variations of the traditional tarot deck, and this one is probably as close as it's going to get for me at least to get to the kind of the original deck because it is the original Rider-Waite and it's in the way it's presented, but she's actually done some really cool stuff with like the texture of the cards is a different texture, and she's kind of done this whole revamp to make them really, really cool different colors. So I've had the pink one for quite a while, and she has them in other colors, and I got them in blue as well. So yeah, and she has other colors. I obviously want to collect them all, but slowly, slowly, because these decks are actually quite pricey because they are essentially like custom made. And I actually get them from this seller on Etsy who is based in Germany, and she's super sweet. But you could see these actually are even have like even more of a flash to them. So um, even though it's a different color, it actually has like a different vibe than these do because of the flash. So I'm really excited to work with the blue deck for the first time. I pulled some cards for myself earlier, and this is what the back looks like. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to work with that tonight. And then I have my Astro dice. I also have, this is kind of a simple astrological oracle deck. But yeah, I'll be working with this as well. And then, of course, any other decks I feel called to. I may end up pulling out a lot more decks when I do the extended. And just bear with me because this is my first time teasing this type of video into the free version versus the extended. So there may be a little bit of bumps in the road as I'm kind of navigating this. But hopefully those of you that have enjoyed my pick a card videos in the past are excited to just experience the pick a card video again. So please leave a comment, shout out, let me know that you're back here. And yeah, excited to be back into all of it, into this for you all. Like I said, out of practice. So with all that being said, I'm going to queue up the 3 piles off camera like I usually do. It's just a lot of shuffling and me intuiting, and it's very boring to watch. So I'm going to do that and BRB and then give you the chance to pick which pile you want to do, and we'll get into it from there. All right, we're back into it. And I also just want to say, so I have set the intention here with these cards that it's what are you releasing? But as the cards do and your guides can do, sometimes other messages can come through. So, you know, if there's a message here that's kind of different, and sorry, I have like a hair in my eye. If there's a message coming through that's like different than something about releasing, I'm still going to have that come through, right? Especially if it's meant to come through. So I just kind of want to put that out there as well. So this is the energy of pile 1. And if you're brand new to this, which I can't imagine you are because pick a card videos are like the best thing there ever was slash is. But a few tips for this. So you can definitely use the chakras in your hands. You can use your hand to kind of go over the screen. To be honest, I'll use my hand a lot and I get like a huge surge of energy, or sometimes I just know. Especially if you see like the 3 piles next to each other, sometimes I'll even clairvoyantly see like one of them circled in my mind's eye. I'm very clairsentient. That's my primary clair. So for me, it's usually feeling is like the primary method. And then sometimes the other ones can kind of come in like I said, clairvoyance or sometimes clairaudience. So this is actually a great way for you to practice with your intuition. And one of the reasons why I love pick a card reading so much is that it's a vibes check. So it helps you understand energetically what are you matching to right now. And you know, nothing is ever set in stone. Everything's always being constantly created and evolving. So it just kind of gives you an awareness of what you're present to right now and what's in your energy field, and helps you have things to process and think about so you can then feel empowered or adapt accordingly. So it is a reflective tool that actually helps you understand what's going on and where to move forward. Plus, it's really fun. So it has a lot of good things to it. What else do I want to say? So yeah, using your hand chakra, seeing in your mind's eye if one is circled or just the way a particular one feels. Another thing you can do is in the description below, I will have timestamps. You can look at the timestamps and see if you're drawn to a particular timestamp. That's another way you can go about it. I'm a little bit of a different pick a card reader too. I blame my teaching background for this, or perhaps the fact that my 5th house is Pisces. So it's like my spiritual business is very Leo, and it's like I want to be seen. That might be part of it as well. But yeah. I actually do my pick a card videos as very forward facing, whereas a lot of pick a card readers do it with their hands, like you don't see their faces and they're just showing you the cards. I've tried to do that, and I always wear like, I always have fun jewelry and rings going on, and I love that vibe, but it just doesn't seem to work for me. This method seems to work a lot better for me. So this is the way I've done it, and it is different, but you'll still get the same kind of energy out of the experience by me talking you through it and showing you the cards upright instead of face down. The only difference is you won't see like the full spread in the same way. You won't see me shuffling kind of from the face down view. Who knows? Maybe this will evolve and change, especially as my production quality gets better. But again, that's contingent on just like how things are going with putting videos out on the channel and that experience. It's something I'm very conscious of now, kind of coming back to this, is that it's really, really important to me that I'm approaching this in a way where I'm working towards balance, because I was really overgiving before and it was not a good situation, and I don't want to do that again. So that's kind of what I'm monitoring now. Anyway, so this is the energy of pile one. Okay, so you can tune into this and see if this is your pile. And if you see flickering, it's also because I have some really nice candles lit. I love this company called Aloha Bay. I buy candles from them. I actually did some work for them, and I used to get these candles as a swap, and now you can't really see it because it's kind of getting washed out. But this is a third eye candle. I'm very, very picky about the candles I get because I only like to get coconut, soy based wax candles that are non-toxic and don't release chemicals and pollutants into the air that you breathe and the environment. And I especially like Aloha Bay because they have like a really spiritual focus with their candles. Um, I can really feel energetically the difference. Another company that I like for candles is Good Light Candles. I buy their tea lights and other things from the pillar candles from them too. But um, yeah, we'll see what comes through in the readings because there might be more that comes through. I also have a Himalayan salt tea light going as well. So that's the energy of pile one. And I'm so chatty today, probably because I haven't done one of these videos in a while. So it's like I have so much to say. Okay, this is the energy of pile two. And this is the energy of pile three. And with all that being said, I'm going to get into it. So I'm going to start with pile one. So use the timestamps to navigate to where you need to go. And then don't forget, please support this video with a like, a comment, a subscribe. All of that really helps. This is out of focus again. And I also will be doing an extended version of each of these piles. So you'll see the link to that in the description, and I'll be referencing it in each pile as well. We are still out of focus. So hopefully that comes back. Okay. So with all that being said, let's get into it. So I'm going to start with pile one. And our focus here was, what are you releasing, pile one? I don't want to get these confused. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, so pile one peeps, this is the reading for you. Let's get into it. So excited to be working with the blue deck for the first time. Okay, I did actually see this one kind of pop out when I was pulling the cards. I actually don't look at them, before. I just shuffle them and intuitively pick, and then I look at them for the first time when I'm with you. So, but I love that Scorpio came out because it's like we're in a full moon in Scorpio and it's that vibe. So we have Scorpio energy here. We have growth, seek out a mentor or guide, take baby steps as you grow. I was just talking about baby steps before. Be willing to learn from others. I actually saw this card recently in this deck, and one of the things that jumped out to me with this is it's almost like a version of higher self with kind of like current self. And this can also be an energy about manifesting the right support from people, the universe, to guide you to where you need to go. We do also have shower of blessings, open yourself to receive, pay it forward, which is a really beautiful card. And it looks like there's kind of like books and even gifts here, and there's kind of corn, not corn. I do this a lot, okay? I think it's my Mercury, because my Mercury's in Virgo in the 11th house, which is like basically one of like the strongest Mercuries you could have. And sometimes my brain thinks so fast that I'm thinking something, and then it's like I take the first portion of it and then I think of the next thing and then I smush them together. So I was thinking of the word coin and the word wheat, or like the energy of wheat, and somehow I put together that this was corn. But essentially, what I'm thinking of is what is present on the card are coins as well as wheat. And somehow in my brain, I said corn. I created it into a third thing. But we have the energy here of like sustenance, so food and money, and also kind of surprises of abundance. And I can really relate to that because that happened to me today. Um, from the tarot, we have Knight of Wands. We have Knight of Wands. We have Three of Cups. And we have the Seven of Wands as well. Okay. So we have a little bit of kind of mixed energies going on here. I want to also do some Astro dice on this. So let's roll 3 times. I always do 3 times. Okay. We have Mercury in the second and Capricorn. Okay. So Mercury in the second house with Capricorn. So what I'm kind of getting here is there is partially an energy here of some things to celebrate, okay? Because we do have Shower of Blessings and we have Three of Cups. And Three of Cups is definitely the card in the tarot about celebrations, happiness, things that make you feel joyful. This can also relate to birthdays, parties, invitations, events, all that good stuff. So there is this energy of celebration here. But there is also this energy of like wanting to grow and move forward with the Scorpio energy with growth here, and then Mercury's second house Capricorn. And in this growth card, there was also an energy here about kind of mentorship and getting advice. And like Mercury's second house Capricorn would be having a lot of thought about your career and how you're making your money and your path, and what is it that you need to think or do or learn in order to evolve on your path, specifically as it relates to building solid foundations for yourself, you know? So it's like, on one hand, there are these celebrations coming in that are exciting and supportive and reasons to feel good about. But there's also this kind of knowingness within you that there's a lot more growth to be had. It's like Capricorn is the energy of there's a lot more of a way to go here. You know, there's more to this story. There's maybe things that I need to seek out, things that I need to learn to kind of continue on this path. And part of that may involve needing to attract the right people that can guide you, that can support you, you know? And since the focus of this was around what am I releasing, I think that there's this energy here about releasing a little bit of potentially kind of like flash in the pan energy, because we have Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands, you know, he likes to kind of come in. He's like the wham bam, thank you, ma'am of the tarot. He likes to come in, do what he wants to do, and then leave. He's not a very committed energy. Okay. And we have this though with the Seven of Wands, which is a card about standing your ground, being defensive. And sometimes this can be a card about being too defensive, so you can't let something in, but it can also be a card about just like stand your ground, stick with it, keep going, right? So I feel like there's this kind of push-pull energy with this pile where it's like part of you wants to think long term about your career and kind of your material assets and where things are going. And you feel that very strongly, like, I need to grow in this way. Maybe I need some advice. Maybe I need some mentorship to kind of get me through that. But there's a little bit of a push-pull between feeling like there's room to grow versus this concept of like quick wins versus kind of the long-term journey. And I feel like there's a lot of tension within you because it's almost like you might celebrate these quick wins and then it's like it doesn't satisfy you enough because you're like, okay, but there's more. Like, what's and next and next and next. And I feel like it's almost like a square energy in your chart, is kind of how it feels. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm recording this during like Scorpio. I wouldn't be surprised if you do have really strong Leo, Taurus, or Aquarius energy in your chart because that would square Scorpio. And there's even squares going on in the astrology, right? Because we have, well, in this case, it would be a conjunction because we have Uranus in Taurus, right, with the energy of Taurus season, and then technically conjunction and an opposition because we also have the energy of Scorpio. But I feel like there's a little bit of like at odds energy with you. I'm going to pull a little bit more before I kind of stop this reading for the extended, but I definitely feel like this is a reading that's going to really benefit from like an extended look. So let's just get like one or two more clarifiers on this. Okay. So we did get Nine of Wands and then Ace of Wands. So again, it's like this energy of conflict because Nine of Wands is feeling wounded, feeling like you can't really take anymore. Like you feel like you're, you know, in this card, like he's literally, it's not really shown too well here. It kind of looks like he's wearing just a headband, but it's actually supposed to be like a head bandage. So it is this energy of like being wounded and you feel like you can't go on. You feel like you can't take anymore. It's also a card about endurance though, because it's saying like you're really close to the end, like keep going. And then we do have Ace of Wands, which is the card of a fresh start. So I feel like there's kind of this conflict within you of like the progress that I'm making is not good enough. And I know that there's more. I want to get to more, but it feels like getting to more, it's not happening fast enough, strong enough. It's not happening in the way I would like it to happen. And I feel like the guidance here in terms of releasing is to allow yourself to celebrate those small wins, because I think that that can go a long way. And especially when we do feel wounded or kind of beaten down by the circumstances we're in, it's even more important that we do take time to honor those small wins. And a small win could be having a good day. It could be having a surprise happen that like delights you, like happened to me today, which was something that I was praying about and seeking support from, and then it literally happened. So that was so cool. And just making a regular practice of positive self-talk and even acknowledging when other people support you and provide positive energy towards your path. With me, like my work is all remote and online, so it's very easy for me to screenshot something and save it and say like, oh, okay, this was someone that praised my work or gave me recognition for my hard work. And it's easy to kind of capture that moment, and then you have that to refer back to when you feel really in the Nine of Wands vibe, you know. And I think this is also where this energy of like mentorship comes in too, because when we have people that we can go to for advice or people that have kind of walked the path a bit ahead of us, it also does help us to understand those ups and downs. And I think that sometimes it's hard for us when we're in it to know what that looks like. But when we can go to other people that maybe have experienced it ahead of you or are a little bit further along on their path than you are, it can be really supportive to encourage you to keep going on. So definitely kind of finding people, even if it's not like a formal mentorship container, but just someone that you can kind of go to ask questions. And again, trying to do it in a balanced way or a way that benefits both parties. But I think that that could be really helpful to you, pile one, is just having someone that can kind of remind you of the journey, help you with the journey. I think that can be an important part of this story because I feel like there's a lot of wounded energy here. And I think that what you're releasing is this idea that it's like kind of all or nothing, that it's all bad or all good. I think you're kind of learning how to let this process evolve where there's ups and there's downs, there's good and there's bad, you know. And I do feel like that's one of the things that Scorpio teaches us really well. In fact, like this polarity card is a card that I actually had pulled recently for myself and I've been working with. And it's a lot about like integrating your shadow side, you know. And that's one of the things that Scorpio teaches us because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Pluto is the underworld, you know, so it's like the ability to go into those dark depths and extract the information and then bring it up to the surface can be so powerful and provide so much gold. It's like you don't have to stay in the hell realm, but there's something there that you have to see or experience or learn and kind of bring it up to the surface because that's where the true alchemy, the true magic happens. And Scorpio is a sign, like a lot of times people think of Sagittarius when it comes to manifesting, but I mean, I have a mixed relationship with Sag energy because my Saturn's in Sag and stuff, but Scorpio, I love me some Scorpio energy because it knows how to kind of go in and like extract that deep knowingness that there's something you need to witness or there's something you need to see about this situation and call it for what it is. And then that helps you to move on and kind of work through it and work with it. It actually reminds me, so a couple weeks ago, it actually would have been at the time of the new moon in Aries, right around that time. So the previous lunar cycle that we're now coming out of because we're going into the new one. I was going through a situation where a client that I was working with was just really not working out. And I am someone, I wish I didn't have this quality sometimes, but when something's really not working, like I just know really, really quickly because I feel it, you know. And it was, well, in this case, I actually had kind of a rapport with the person I was working with for like a good month or so before this happened. But basically, what happened is that the setup changed, the circumstances in which I was doing the work changed, and it really changed up the energy dynamic in a way that made it a lot more stressful for me. It made it really different than the way I was doing it before, and it was starting to affect my mental health. I was having heavy anxiety and yeah, a lot of not good stuff. Even more than I usually deal with. Anxiety, insomnia, like a lot of not good stuff. And I knew that something was wrong, but I was kind of in that holding pattern of like, I don't like this, but I don't know what to do about this. And that's not a fun place to be in. And I had kind of manifested someone around me at this time who had a lot of Scorpio energy, and they're still present in my life. And he was just like, just send the email, like just pull the plug. And I already knew that that's what I should do, but there was something about that where I realized, yes, like I have to confront this head on and just remove myself from the situation because I trust that I will manifest a new client that will be better aligned, that will be better. I trust that I will manifest this in a better way. And it was painful. It took me a little bit to recover from that, but I made it to the other side. And I think part of the reason why people are scared to kind of go into that Scorpio energy is because they think they won't make it to the other side. And it's like, if you still have a purpose here on earth and you still have things to do, you will make it to the other side. It just might not be like comfortable, but it's like in that discomfort that you kind of learn things and you move through things, you know. So that's what I have for you, Pile One peeps. I'm going to leave it there. I am going to do an extended version of this. I feel like a lot came through there. So we'll see what comes through in the extended. Maybe it'll be like a new layer or different variation of what came through there, but that's what I have for you. So definitely go check out the extended if you're interested in that. And like I said, I'm going to have that as one video. So you'll have the chance to actually watch extendeds in the same video for the same price for all 3 piles. So if you come back to this video and watch a different pile because you know you're vibing differently, you'll have access to the extended video where you can watch it from the other pile as well. So much love to you, pile 1, and thanks for stopping by my channel. All right, pile 2 peeps, these are the cards for you. Pile 1 had a pretty powerful reading, so let's see what we get for you, pile 2. Okay. A little bit of a similar vibe to pile 1. So if you were drawn to both piles, you might even want to go and watch some of the energy in pile 1's reading as well. Because I see a little bit, and this might be a theme for tonight's readings. I'm kind of seeing that. But we have a couple things here. So I just want to match these up. So, okay. So for you pile 2 peeps, we have definitely this energy of feeling a sense of loss and grief. Okay, so we do have the 5 of Cups here, which is not a happy card in the tarot, but you know, it's about being very aware of what you've lost, you know, and this can relate to grief, this can relate to despair, regrets, disappointments. The one thing about this card though is yes, there are 3 cards that are knocked over, but there's also 2 cards that are still standing. So it's like even though you have lost things or there's been a difficult parting of ways or there's been a bitter end of some sort, there are still things that you do have that are present in your life that are working for you, you know. And you could see like his back is turned to those cups. So it's like your focus right now, it's hard for you to focus on what you do have because you're very focused on what you've lost and you're like very present to that. You're kind of in that painful space, you know? And then we have uncored relationships. Let go now. Forgiveness is freedom. So this is a card about cords of attachment, you know, and being able to sever ties, to cut ties in order to help you heal and move on, you know, and definitely when it comes to cord cutting, you can call on Archangel Michael for support. You can, if you're interested in it, pursue whole courses in energy clearing and cord cutting. I have done it at a very like in-depth scale, and now I kind of do it as a kind of more micro scale, I would say. It's very, very powerful stuff. So you want to make sure that you're working with like the right person if you go with a really in-depth route. I have some crazy stories I could tell you. But in general, you can even do cord cutting by doing salt scrubbing in the shower, right? Salt is a very clearing, healing force in that way. You can do cord cutting by working with crystals, okay? So like this is a triple pointed amethyst. You can use it to extract the energy like from your ear chakra or from your hand chakras. You can lay crystals on the body. I am obsessed with black tourmaline. It's one of my first loves. I mean, Monty is the love of my life, but black tourmaline is another love of my life. And this is a black tourmaline sphere that I got a long time ago now, actually, kind of at the beginning of my spiritual journey. But what's nice about spheres is that they radiate the energy in all directions. So that's always a plus. And especially when you have a crystal that's paired with clear quartz, it magnifies the property of that crystal. So um, this guy provides a lot of protection. So if you are someone that's looking for more grounding and protection right now, you might want to find, you know, seek out black tourmaline as a crystal to work with. And you can find it in, this is obviously like a big piece of it, but you can also get black tourmaline as like a chunk, like a raw chunk like this. I have lots of pieces like this. And you know, to be honest, black tourmaline is actually a crystal, one of the first crystals I worked with when I was going through the physical loss of someone really important in my life. When my father transitioned, it was extremely overwhelming for me energetically. I was way, way, way overwhelmed with energy and my own feelings, my family's feelings, a lot. It's a lot. And black tourmaline, so that was around the time where I was really having my Saturn return and my spiritual awakening. And I started working with grounding and protective crystals, as well as working with a spiritual mentor at that time, which helped me a lot. And black tourmaline helped me. I had to wear like literally I had to wear black tourmaline every day for years and years and years. And now I'm at the point where I don't have to do that because I have other shielding and clearing techniques I use. But at the beginning, yeah, I did. So you might be someone that you're kind of tuning into your sensitivity now, and um, you might need to bring in some more support for you to do this. We do have strength here. This challenge will make you stronger. You'll get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in this situation. So yeah, this is definitely an energy here about kind of being deep in it, feeling something very deeply, a sense of loss, a sense of grief. And I was just saying this in pile one that it's like when we talk about Scorpio energy, there's so much manifestation that can come from Scorpio energy, but we have to be willing to go into that Scorpio realm and confront what it wants to show us. But we don't have to stay there forever. We just have to go for a little bit, and then we can kind of bring it up to the surface. So I think you're kind of still in that energy right now where you're kind of extracting some of the lessons, and that's okay. I think that you're kind of still processing and feeling a lot with the situation, and sometimes it's okay to just honor, I am in this space. I'm going to allow myself to feel my feelings, and I'm going to be okay with feeling my feelings. I'm going to give myself permission to feel my feelings. We do have Gemini energy here, which is definitely a card about communication and friendship. So friends could be a really positive support to you right now. We do also have on the happy side. So it's almost like the Gemini card is also bridging what that energy is compared to what this energy is, because this energy is very happy and very positive. Um, we have the star and then we have the Nine of Cups. So these two energies together are basically saying, have hope for the future because there's a high potential here that you're going to get what you want. You're going to feel satisfied with something in the future here. You're going to get a particular result. The star does relate to Aquarius energy, Aquarius energy. So, um, the energy of Aquarius could be significant here, Aquarius season, or just maybe you have sun, moon rising in Aquarius. There's something here with Aquarius, but it doesn't have to be. The star, though, is definitely a card about having hope and faith, but it's kind of like a future energy. And then with the Nine of Cups, this is definitely like a card of like satisfaction and smugness. You could see he's like very like, yeah, I got what I wanted kind of vibes. And this being, nine, so this could be also the energy of the month of nine, which would be September, or 9 months from now. Or if your circumstances, maybe that's not resonating, it could be like 9 weeks, something like that, or 9 days for some of you. Obviously, different people will watch this, different people resonate with different things. So I feel like, what are you releasing now, pile two? You are releasing this. It's almost like you're going into this place where you are processing a lot of pain and you're releasing that pain. But it's like you're still kind of in this space where you are feeling and sensing that energy. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I did this for pile one, and I hope I'm not going to regret this because I still need to do extended on these. But like I said, I'm learning how to do extendeds with this. Not my first time doing pick a card, but definitely my first time doing extendeds here. So pile two, what more does pile two need to know right now? And I'm gonna do a different deck here for the third one, and then we'll also do some Astro dice on this. And where did my Astro dice go? Here they are. Okay, so we're gonna do some Astro dice here as well. Okay, so we definitely have some Aries energy coming out. We do have the Aries card. It did come up in reverse. With this Oracle deck, you don't have to read reversals, but here I actually do feel called to read it in reverse. We did also get Aries with Pluto in the third house, okay? So the third house is a Gemini ruled house. You also had Gemini here. And this also can relate to the mind. Okay, so actually, now that I'm kind of re-looking at it too, this could be also that, and I'm also feeling like tension and pain like on this side of my neck. So there could be also things that are like not being spoken here. But we have definitely this energy of like potentially having dark thoughts or just being in a dark place with your thoughts where there's like a lot of deep sadness, heavy energy that's being processed here, okay, with this vibe. And Aries, Pluto, third house. So definitely Pluto with the third house. You know, Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio and relates to that underworld, like I was talking about. So with that energy of third house, it's like, and then the fact that we do have Aries, which is a card about strength and endurance and perseverance. Aries, I did it again where I combined words. I just can't even. But Aries is an energy that, and I think sometimes it's like I'm just channeling the messages so fast that it's like verbally in the 3D, like I can't keep up, but I try my best. That, you know, Aries is the warrior, the warrioress, right, in the zodiac. It is absolutely an energy about being powerful, being strong, being brave. It's about courage. So with this energy here of like Aries, Pluto, third house, it's like this takes courage for you to go in and examine your thoughts and to go in at a deep level and kind of extract, unpack those thoughts that are there. And I think that there might be part of you that needs to acknowledge that this is an act of courage to go and look there, you know. Um, and there might be part of you that's kind of resisting it because we do have Aries here that's in reverse. So it's like there's part of you that might feel afraid, like I have fear, I don't want to look there, I don't want to confront that. But the interesting thing is that once you do look there, kind of talk yourself through it or learn or find things about it, transformation is there on the other side because Pluto is a difficult planet for sure to work with, but um, I have like a very strong relationship with Pluto because I have Pluto in my first house. So it's like I like to joke that I've like died and been reborn like so many times this lifetime. And each time it happens, it's not fun, but each time I just get more and more used to the fact that it's like, oh, okay, like I've just died like 1,000 times this lifetime. Like it's just part of my way to just keep reinventing myself and keep confronting really deep, heavy things and then coming out the other side. That's just part of my experience this time around. And I think what you learn is like, once you kind of allow yourself to confront it and look at it and go through it, you will experience that pain, but then you will get to the other side of it. And it's kind of like back when I kind of started with my spiritual journey, my spiritual mentor told me that, you know, when you have feelings that come up, a lot of times you can suppress them. But if you just confront them head on, they usually don't last as long as you think. And especially for me, because I have like a lot of earth in my chart and air, so I don't have a lot of water. Although the water I do have is fixed water, so it's like very intense water. But I've learned that when I'm feeling things, I have to surrender to that. And I literally will be present with that pain as intimately and as it will become my focus for that night, for that hour, you know. And in doing that, I will cry, I will release, I will emote. If it's anger, I will feel the anger. I will witness it. I will sit with it. I will be present with it. And then I'm able to move to the other side, right? So like I'm talking to you tonight in a pretty okay, cheerful mood, but I did a lot of this type of energy work a couple days this week where I had a lot of sadness coming up and a lot of pain. So I have certain things that I can do to help me trigger, I know my chart so well, what can help trigger the release of that pain. And I made space for that so that it could come out. So I feel like there's an energy here of like, what are you releasing? Part of it is that you have a lot to release, but you have to give yourself permission. You have to create that holding container, that space to allow yourself to release it and to not be afraid that when you go there, you'll never come out because you will come out the other side, probably faster than you think. Now, it's not to say that you won't feel anything ever again. Of course, you will feel things later on, but it's sort of like, would you rather confront it and deal with it 100%, or would you rather deal with it as like a baseline 20% slowly, like every day over 2 weeks, you know? And I think that's something that that's kind of happening here. Now, we do also have Knight of Cups and King of Wands. So this is definitely an energy here about, and I feel like this is future energy because we do have the Star and Nine of Cups. So it's definitely like more towards the future. But I see this as like more towards the future. You feel more in your power. This is definitely like a card of like divine masculine power too. King of Wands is really fun. And then we also have Knight of Cups. So it's like feeling like you can be more aligned with your heart, to be open and to give of your heart. But I see these together as like, I just see this as an energy about feeling more in control of yourself, feeling like you have more of your confidence back, even feeling like you're more empowered. But this I do see as a little bit more of a future energy, where it's like right now you're just in this space where you're doing a lot of releasing work. And actually, what you need to do is give yourself permission to allow that to happen, you know. And I'm also hearing for someone grief therapist, so for somebody out there that might be relevant as well. And certainly when we do go through, I think for some of you this could be grief, for others of you this could be, you know, like in pile one's reading I was talking about the loss of a client, which I would consider also a form of grief, but it's a shorter term form of grief, right? As compared to like losing a loved one or losing a relationship, things like that, a long-term relationship especially. Sometimes it's also important to know when you need to find like who can support you at this time, you know, especially if you're struggling to kind of talk yourself through these things on your own. Part of this courage for some of you, this could apply, part of this courage could be having the courage to go to someone for help, to ask for help, you know. And um you know your situation best. We'll see kind of what comes through in the extended, because I do feel like there's probably more advice I could give here, but I like what came through for you here, pile two, in terms of witnessing yourself and allowing yourself to confront those feelings head on and emote is very important here. But there is also a lot of hope for the future of feeling better, feeling different once you kind of come out the other side of this transformation. So I like all of that for you. So please do give this video some support, give it a like, a comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It really helps feed the YouTube algorithms and keep my channel alive. There should be a donation link in the description as well. You're welcome to donate, or you can also head over to my Etsy shop and buy the extended. I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but if you buy the extended, the way I have it set up is that it'll go as an instant download. So you'll want to look at that PDF and then the link will be in that PDF. So just make sure you check for that. And you're also able to message me on Etsy if you have any trouble, or my email. I have to check if I keep my email in the description, but it should be in there if you have any trouble accessing it. Okay, so sending you much love, pile two. You will get through this. Okay, pile three peeps, these are the cards for you. Some pretty heavy hitting messages for piles one and two. So, as I would not be surprised on a full moon in Scorpio, we got some heavy hitting messages coming through here. But it's all good. So, let's get into your reading, pile three peeps. Let me just take a moment to like acclimate to your cards. And I want to actually pull some extra dice here. So it's so funny how like recording this on a full moon in Scorpio, we have such an energy here of Scorpio coming through in each pile in its own unique way. It's pretty fun. Okay. So I want to do a couple more cards here. I feel like I need a tiny bit more already. And I want to take a second to kind of acclimate here. Okay. So yeah, there's definitely been kind of a theme tonight with each of the piles, to be honest, about almost like dichotomy and polarity, which is like a card I've been working with myself. And that's Scorpio, seeing things in black and white. Libra is the one that sees things in shades of gray. So we do have this energy of like, this is going on, and then this is going on, and kind of this pain point of like, okay, how do I reconcile these two things? So, like in the middle of that, because I've kind of already split it up, in the middle, we do have expansion. Spread your wings and soar, share your message and shine your light, show the world what you're made of. So, it's like you're ready for bigger, better things. You're ready to kind of expand and move forward here. And actually, the way that this spread is laid out, this unicorn is actually traveling towards these cards on this side of the spread, where we do have the King of Pentacles, okay? We have the Six of Swords, which is definitely a moving on card to less troubled waters. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which is a mental breakthrough, clarity, communication coming through. So it's like you're moving towards this more stable foundation, especially financially, feeling like it's less tumultuous waters and feeling like a breakthrough, kind of mentally at least, is coming through. So there is kind of this positive energy that's coming forward here. But on the flip side, we do have this energy where it's like, you're trying to let go of some stuff from the past, and you might be like overly attached to some things from the past. And I'm hearing for some of you, this could even be like an ex. Um, there could be a little bit of a romantic vibe to this. Let's just pull one more on that thought. L3 peeps, what are they releasing? I'm putting this one back because I just wanted one. So we do have Queen of Wands. Okay, so Queen of Wands, I love Queen of Wands. She's a very like alluring energy, very much in her power. For me, I also associate Queen of Wands with like the summer season, especially August and also September. So for me, this is like a very Leo Virgo kind of card. But it could be also like any fire sign as well. So for some of you, there also is this energy of like feeling kind of attached, because we do have the devil here, which is about ego attachments and just feeling like you're stuck. With the Six of Cups, which is a nostalgic card relating to the past. It's also a soulmate card though, so it's a positive card, but it does relate to the past. Um, Feeling like very attached to something from the past. And this could be for some of you, this could be a person, a female figure, or just it doesn't have to actually be a female figure. It can also be like it can be a male that just carries this energy, right? But just someone that's kind of like very alluring, very used to getting what they want, things like that. We do have also Pluto here though, so it's like energetically you need to transform this situation instead of feeling like you're stuck with this situation, that it's just chaining you. The devil card, it's like it's not fun because they feel really stuck. So instead of feeling like you're chained or stuck to this situation, it's like you need to actually transform this situation. You need to find a way to alchemize it, to change it into something else. And changing it into something else can be letting go of it entirely and just totally releasing it and cutting it out of your life, or it can be changing its form or the meaning it has to you in your life. We do also have the strength card here. So this is definitely a test of your strength to let go of this person, place, or thing. And then we have the violet flame. Invoke the cosmic diamond, violet flame, transmute all that is not love. So we do have a lot of crown chakra energy here. So it's almost like part of what will help you transform this is to kind of go to source energy with it, to seek. That's interesting. So I was trying to say seek and I said speak. So for some of you, there could be something that needs to be said, or there could be something where it's like you need to talk to someone about it, could be like a therapist or just someone that could support you. But I definitely feel like, seeking kind of spiritual support or spiritual wisdom on this. Now, if cost is an option with that, you can seek spiritual wisdom by going inwards and just meditating. Put a timer on for like 11 minutes, start small, and meditating and kind of seeking guidance from source. But keep your expectations very soft about it. Like, don't expect that when you meditate, it's like all the answers are going to come in. It might just be progress to just not think about anything, which, to be honest, that's what you're supposed to be doing in meditation. But and it will kind of help you to feel like you're connected to source. For me, I get that feeling of connection through doing Kundalini yoga, or I have like so many different healing things that I do to kind of connect to source. But even automatic writing, if you're familiar with that, you can do automatic writing, and that can be very powerful as well. I'm going to pull a couple more cards for you guys because I just feel like we're not fully there yet. Okay. So we do have Cosmic Pearl, expand your psychic gifts, open the gate to the angelic realms. So I think part of this is that part of this transformational experience with this person, place, or thing that you feel really stuck with is actually part of like your spiritual awakening, part of your spiritual journey in some type of way. Because you can see here, it's like you're opening these gates to like this new kind of land. And it's sort of like this person, place, or thing that is like keeping you chained or like agitating you is also serving as, again, I'm remembering my spiritual mentor Megan. She's just coming through really strong. So Megan, if you're watching, I love you. But she used to say that this was the sand that is sharpening my pearl. And like pearls are really significant to me because they're like something I have when I was a little girl with my dad, and there's like a whole story to that. But um yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting is it's like this person, place, or thing that's causing you this like to feel, kind of chained or stuck is simultaneously something that's actually causing enough irritation within you for you to seek out answers that maybe you wouldn't have sought out before, like spiritual answers, or to find more spiritual wisdom. And to be honest, a lot of times when we go through our first Saturn return, that's typically the way it goes. Like a lot of people find astrology, they find more things in metaphysics by going through the difficulties, the trials and tribulations of their Saturn return. And like as Abraham Hicks would say, like contrast provides clarity. So it's like getting that frustration, getting that agitation is actually like activating something within you that wants to be expressed, that wants to be learned. And Pluto does work at like a slow, more drawn out level. So this could be kind of like a longer term transformational process that you're going through. You could be like at the kind of the beginning of this journey, but I do think it's going to yield good things for you. We do have Uranus here in the 8th house in Sagittarius. So that's a lot. Uranus is about opening our minds. It's about innovation. It does relate to astrology. 8th house is Scorpio ruled energy, which relates to giving and receiving. It also relates to clients and technically also sex, death, and taxes, all of that good stuff. And then Sagittarius is about wisdom and the journey. So I feel like you're kind of on this new journey where you are opening your mind and you're learning. And you might be learning about some kind of deep or potentially even taboo things to you because kind of this 8th house Sag kind of gives me that vibe. So part of it's you're like, ooh, should I be studying this? Should I go there? And it's like, if it's helping you, if it's bringing more good into your life than bad, then it's serving you, right? And using your intuition to decide like, okay, where is best that I kind of seek wisdom, with this situation. Because on the other side of this, like on the other side of this expansion card, we do have enlightenment and then I am presence. So it's like, look at this person that's like touching this like whole new universe here, and the unicorn's right there with them. So it's like this is opening up like almost like a whole new, literally a whole new like cosmic gateway for you to learn and explore here. Um, So I feel like what you're releasing is almost like this fear that, to an extent, actually could be a fear that this person has like control over you, or like that this person has damaged you in some type of way. And I think what you need to release is this idea that this person has this level of control over you, because it's almost like this person was just a catalyst to get you to kind of move forward on your spiritual journey, you know. And I do think that that's kind of going to be a longer process for you to go through that journey, but it's like this person wasn't meant, this person, place, or thing. I always like to specify that because it could be a job, it could be a place you move to, it could be so many different things, right, that can trigger us in that way. But it's like whatever this was that came through, and it's definitely past energy here. Um, you know, they came through to like agitate you in some way, and maybe for some of you it was much worse than just being agitated. But I feel like because it's past energy, this person is like not in your life anymore. And now you're just kind of dealing with like the emotional baggage of like, what do I do about that? How do I unpack that? And I think part of how you unpack it is that you're going through kind of this like spiritual awakening with stuff. You know, we do also have I am presence here. So using affirmations can be really, really supportive to you as well. Specifically, I am affirmations, and you can look on YouTube. There's so many people that do it. I'm actually currently working with like a um she's amazing. She does like this very specific type of like hypnotherapy, and I'm actually working with her self-guided hypnosis meditations, and a lot of them also combine mantra and affirmation work. So it's been very powerful for me. And yeah, but we have that. We do have King of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and Ace of Swords. So it's like you definitely will come out the other side of this. Six of Swords is about moving on, moving forward to less troubled waters. And Ace of Swords is like mental clarity, a breakthrough. I definitely see you. And honestly, with this energy of six here, it could even be like 6 months from now, or 6 weeks for some of you, or for a smaller portion of you, even like 6 days. Like you get to the other side of feeling like you have a breakthrough with this, where it's like, oh, okay, like I thought that this person had such a hold on me, but actually it's not about that at all. You know, it's just that this kind of came into my life to teach me something, and I have the clarity I need so I can move forward completely now from this situation, you know. And also give yourself a little grace if you're in the 6 day camp, because like we are in a Mercury retrograde, so there's a lot of like delays and miscalculations going on with that, you know. I was actually sharing a story in, I forget if it was pile one or pile two now, I think pile one, about just like a client situation that I chose to walk away from. And that's a good example of something where it's like it agitates you, but it's like shorter term. And then, like, in a narrower window of time, you're able to kind of transmute it, get the lessons, and then move on. So, for some of you, this could be something very short lived that's coming through. For others of you, this could be longer term, like an ex, or even like a toxic boss. For some of you, I'm even hearing family members as well sometimes. So there's different variations, but I can certainly look deeper with this with pile three. And sending you so much love, pile three peeps. So, let me rephrase. I can certainly look deeper with this with the extended reading. Please do give this video a like, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Dropping a comment helps feed the YouTube algorithm, and I just enjoy hearing how people value or resonate with the piles. That helps me a lot to know that people are watching them. And you can also hit the notification bell so you're subscribed and you're aware when I post a new video. And there's also a link in the description where you can donate as well. So sending you so much love, pile three peeps. And once again, you can check out the link to the extended versions, which I'm probably going to do one video that will include everything. So if you pay for it once, you should get access to everything. So that's nifty, because if you want to come back to this video and watch a different pile, you can watch the extended for that pile. So sending you so much love, pile three peeps. And if you watch the video in its entirety, thank you so much. And I hope to see you again soon on my channel. Bye.